What's up everybody, Neospring here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a D4 any run with the Warrior Shaman Wizard build. This has been pretty fun to play while leveling up. It is super tanky out of everything that I played so far, and the goal with this is to just see how he compares with some of the previous builds that I've run in terms of damage and just overall gameplay. So here is the build, here are my stats. He is pretty decked out in stats, obviously because of the shaman buffs as well as the equipment from the warrior. He is only running a 6 for the weapons for both of them, but they are sky weapons with Winter's Roar on the shaman sky weapon proc. So everything else is pretty high leveled, really over geared, really fun to play, especially at low levels. The one thing I didn't want to mention with this build is I actually switched this build over from intelligence to wisdom because there are a few key pieces like this bracer and the earring that just the stats are so nice, but it only had wisdom on it. So I made that transition, but I'm not really worried about mana. I'm still at 6.4 mana. I've never actually had to go below 50% in most of my stuff, so it is what it is. But the nice thing I like is I'm at 556 AC, which that's pretty nice comparatively to the other builds that I've run. 515 for attack, 450 strength, 393 for dexterity. So it is almost reaching that cap in terms of my equipment. I think if I keep pushing this, I could probably hit for both, but it is what it is. So the goal is to be full offensive mode. I do not want to be in defensive for this. I want to be in full offensive to see how does melee compare with like the shaman dots and the wizard nukes. So I think I can stay in full offensive. I don't think it should be a problem, but we can go ahead and test it out. So I would be slowing them, dotting them up, and I want to take those off. Let me try curse on there. And we'll be using Slug's healing with a tap, with the shaman heal, just to keep us above. I'm debating if I want to stay between that 10% to 35% for extra melee crits or that berserk mode for the warrior. But we will wing it. I think if he's out of mana, I'll probably sit around there. But while he has mana, I might not because I'm worried about like an ice comet or something like that. Um, all right, so I think we have everything. I think the most important thing is getting that Puma on my pet and then Puma on me, because I do think Puma will be doing a lot of damage. So let's go ahead and start this fight. Let's throw a Slug's healing at the start. Let's try Curse also. Let's see if Curse lands. It looks like both dots don't land, so it's just the Odium. So they do not stack. So far, so good. Let's do the Giga Chad move, the Rampage, to one-shot him. No, it did nothing. Let's throw a clicky heal. Odium did drop. Let's give ourselves a heal. Throw him another dot. It looks like he's still going to have a lot of mana before we actually kill him. So we're sitting around 560 in DPS right now. Let's see if we can hover around to that. I'm keeping an eye on his cast. Oh no, that took us out of it. That was unfortunate. but it looks like he's at death's door. He's just healing now, and we were 695 in DPS for this, so 624 for myself, 70 for my pet. What do we get? We actually got a mass that we've never gotten before in all the kills. That is juicy. All right, here is the DPS for that. So under 2 minutes there. Let me add this to myself as the pet. Here is the breakdown for the damage, and then let's also look at the DPS breakdown. Here is the DPS breakdown. All right, so direct damage being the highest, not surprised. Conflag 29k, Froststorm 11, Winter's Roar actually doing 2k damage. That's that proc, that DD proc from the Shaman Sky Weapon. And then Puma doing 7.1k damage. Not surprised. Puma is pretty nice. Odium right under Puma, so that's cool. Both of those I kind of consider a dot in that case. Slashes, bashes, kicks, and cleaves did a good amount of damage, as well as the piercing. So piercing, it probably did what as a total with all melee 15k damage. So in comparison, it's probably the same damage as Puma and Odium. So that's pretty cool. And then the Puma on the pet did 5.2k damage and everything else. All right. So there is that breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed it. What was that total in terms of DPS? So almost 700. I would consider it 700 DPS just for this warrior shaman wizard build with everything. And again, you got to keep in mind, I still only have +6 weapons. So we might actually hit 750 DPS with +10 weapons, maybe 800 with more dexterity, more strength. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. See you in the next video.